You deserve to feel so much better about yourself. You don't have to wait until you get that big win before you celebrate yourself and give yourself some credit. Many of us have forgotten how challenging our childhood was, how challenging it was growing up, learning how to tie our shoelaces, not a tie, tucking our shirts properly, stay clean throughout the day and deal with schoolwork, deal with the emotional turmoil of puberty, learn how to talk to the opposite sex, learn how to drive, finish school and land our very first job. It's like what the young man David, who lived thousands of years ago, said, God who delivered me from the lion and the bear would deliver me from this Philistine. Now David is a man who understood the value of celebrating milestones on the journey to high performance and becoming the very best version of ourselves. You deserve to feel so much better about yourself. You don't have to wait until you get that big win before you celebrate yourself and give yourself some credit. Many of us have forgotten how challenging our childhood was, how challenging it was growing up, learning how to tie our shoelaces, not a tie, tucking our shirts properly, stay clean throughout the day and deal with schoolwork, deal with the emotional turmoil of puberty, learn how to talk to the opposite sex, learn how to drive, finish school and land our very first job. I remember watching an episode of a series I love called Supernatural, where Dean, one of the characters on the show, describes puberty. My voice sounds weird. I have 9 zits. I have zero control over this. I mean, it's up, it's down, it's up for no reason. Now, we have passed through these stages of life and we no longer even think or reflect on them. We don't think or reflect that if we could come through all that and we are still standing, that we are probably more capable than we think. If God could help us through all that He will still yet help us through what we are experiencing right now. Most times we are waiting for that big win, that ultimate goal before we give ourselves any credit. But we need to understand that if we are going to actually achieve those goals that will take our lives to a whole new level, it starts with celebrating the small wins, celebrating the milestones, because it's celebrating the small wins and the milestones that actually gives us the energy and momentum to push to the next level. Now, if it's important to celebrate the small wins, how do we celebrate those small wins? Number one, by having a reflection schedule. A reflection schedule is simply a time that we set aside to think on the wins that we had in the week. What did I do well this week and what can I learn from that? What did I probably mess up this week and what did I learn from that? It's usually helpful to have a specific day and time in the week when we do this, and it's also helpful to have a notebook by our side so that we can write our thoughts. Number two way that we celebrate our wins is by feeling the win. Relive it, feel it, and integrate it. Let's feel the win. Let's connect with our feelings, connect with our emotions, embrace the full spectrum of our emotions. Taste the rainbow. Now, the idea is that the rainbow has different colors, so let's embrace and taste every color of our emotion. Now, instead, what happens is that the good feelings and the good emotions that we have, we tend to gloss over it because we don't want to rest on our oars, become vulnerable, and end up disappointed. We do this because to our mind, nothing, especially a good thing, lasts forever. So we are focused on the next achievement, the next goal. We just want to brush aside what we have achieved and just focus on the next thing. But we will never get this particular moment again. So rather than focusing on tomorrow and the next achievement, let's enjoy now. Let's enjoy this moment. Let's savor this victory for all that it is. Just like we gave our best to get to this point, let's put in our best in the now to enjoy the moment and to enjoy the victory and the milestone. Let tomorrow take care of its own worries. On the other hand, when it comes to bad feelings and bad emotions, what we tend to do is to fight these feelings. So we get those feelings of defeat, those feelings that we have messed up, feelings of envy and jealousy, and we are fighting them. But the more we fight these feelings, the more they grow. So rather than fight them, let's embrace them. Rather than react, let's respond. Let's not see those moments that we messed up as low points. Let's see them as launch pads for our next level. Number three way we celebrate our small wins is by sharing the win. Let's share the win with someone. We don't do this because to our mind, what we have achieved is no big deal. What? It may not be a big deal to someone else, but it should be a big deal to you. It's you that has achieved this. Stop waiting for someone else to acknowledge that it's a big win to them. I remember reading somewhere that there's a difference between success and achievement. Success is when other people praise you and applaud you, but achievement is realizing you may not have hit the exact mark you wanted to hit. The outcome may not have been exactly what you hoped for, but you understand that you gave your best, you gave your all, and you take satisfaction in that. Now share that with others. That's exactly what I was doing while preparing for the 2020 Lagos City Marathon, and that's what I'm doing now after the marathon, sharing my win with you. I remember after 30 days of training, I did a video to celebrate that milestone. After 60 days of training, I did another video to celebrate that milestone. After 100 days of training, I did another video to celebrate that win. I did all that because here I am, a guy who in the past had a big challenge of making long-term plans and sticking to that plan. Here I am now preparing 6 months ahead for the marathon and training every day, despite days I felt ill and the weather was unfavorable. Also, while running the marathon, what I did was I celebrated every kilometer mark. I did that because it was an indication of progress. I may not be at the finish line yet, but it's proof that if I could get to the 1 kilometer mark, then I could do the 2 kilometer mark. If I could do 2, then I could do 5. If I could do 5, I could do 10, 20, 30 until I got to the finish line. The important thing to remember is that it's not about how others feel about your win, your milestone. It's about how you feel. It's about your enthusiasm, and this is what the world cannot resist. The aliveness and the enthusiasm they see in your eyes, the genuine vibrancy, the sense in your soul and your being while you celebrate that victory. We dare to celebrate our win and our milestones boldly, proudly, and loudly. We don't diminish ourselves so other people can feel secure around us, because true humility is being able to share our wins with each other without the other person feeling insecure. So we are proud and happy about what we have achieved. Some other people will give the viewpoint that you should be unhappy and dissatisfied with the level where you are, that's the key to moving up. But the thing is, the more negative energy and vibe we carry, the more negative circumstances we attract into our lives. But if we are positive, if we are happy and proud, what happens is that the more happy and proud moments we attract into our lives. So let's be happy, proud, because that's what boosts our confidence, capability, belief to reach higher, to go further, to try harder and higher things, because we celebrated the small things. If we are going to live a life of no excuses, exceed limits, break barriers, crush our goals, become those high performers that God has created us to be, and become a pleasant surprise to ourselves and to all those around us, it's helpful to remember that the more we celebrate our life, the more we have to praise and celebrate in life. We should celebrate the small wins, because small is where big comes from. On our journey, life and people may throw stones at us, but what do? We convert those stones to milestones and stepping stones. It's so important that we pause to reflect and to celebrate the small wins, because that act of slowing down invites us to notice every other thing that is happening around us. It's like Claude Debussy says, music is the space between the notes. That space between the notes is what causes them to reverberate, resonate, and reach their full expression. Without the space, noise and cacophony would result. Finally, but most importantly, everyone deserves a standing ovation at least once in their lives. Give yourself this. You more than deserve it.